Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be why your escape haunts the narcissist forever. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So you escaping that relationship and you figuring out who they were, what they did, and how they knew what they were doing, and how they methodically and deliberately and intentionally tried to destroy your life. Your hopes, dreams, aspirations, your future, your health, your goals, your purpose, and all the objectives you wanted to accomplish. They did it on purpose. They knew it. They did it willingly. You didn't know that back then because you weren't taught this in school. So how could you understand that another human being who looked just like you did, meaning human flesh and everything, could actually insidiously creep into your life and infiltrate your life under the guise of actually caring about you, or maybe even telling you that they loved you, or maybe even telling you they fell in love with you. But behind the scenes, behind the mask, was a bigger objective, a bigger motive, and it was to take everything from you because you were the target. And you were a person who was naive, you were vulnerable, you were uneducated on narcissism, and you were believing and you were trusting that most people thought the way you thought. You now know that a lot of people don't think the way you think, and you also are learning all about humanity. You're understanding what narcissism is, what other kinds of human behaviors are, and you're understanding where you are, meaning you're probably figuring out by now that either you are an empath or you have a high level of empathy. But any way you cut it, the narcissist did not have your best interest at heart. So when you escaped, now the escape that I'm referring to is cracking the code and finding that needle in a haystack and applying the tools that I provide for you with each and every video. But when that relationship ended, you were either discarded or you had to remove yourself from the relationship. Any way you cut it, you had one of those two things happened. Now, if it didn't happen yet, that means you're getting ready to create, develop, and execute your exit plan. That will take time, it will take patience, and it will take a lot of commitment, and it will take your silence to execute that. But having said this, for those of us who are out of the narcissistic relationship, whether we were discarded or we removed ourselves intentionally to get away from the toxicity of that person or those people, once we got out, we realized that we had to heal from this relationship. This is the relationship you'll need to heal from. You didn't know it back then, but you know it now. That's why the healing path is not linear. It will take time. It will take a lot of time, but in your time you will heal if you utilize the tools that are provided for you with each and every video I create, and from all the beautiful comments all over the world. Excuse me, all over the world. Now, thank you for saying bless you. Having said that, what happens here is the narcissist is so accustomed to controlling people and to controlling their mindset and to keeping those people under their spell in that trauma bond, in the narcissistic fog. And before you met the narcissist, they had encountered many people before you, and they probably kept most of those people, if not all of them, stuck in that narcissistic fog, meaning those people were blaming themselves. They were thinking that they could still fix the narcissist. They were wondering if the narcissist still loved them or cared about them. They were still dealing and processing all the verbal abuse, the financial abuse, the emotional abuse, and maybe even the physical abuse. But those people, unlike you, they did not figure out what narcissism was or is. And that is most people. Now you may say, no, you know a lot of people that know what narcissism is these days. Well, they may know it, but did they live it? Do they know firsthand what gaslighting is, what the silent treatment is, what verbal abuse is, what triangulation are, and things like that? Maybe they learned the definitions, maybe they did go through the cycle. I can't tell you. What I care about is you getting the wisdom and applying the tools. And you are different than all the other people that the narcissist had entered relationships with. Why I'm saying you're different is, number one, you're watching the videos. Number two, you're probably journaling. Number three, I'm sure you're meditating, you're healing childhood wounds. You're in that cocoon of boundaries and you're focusing on yourself, and you are working on yourself. Most of those other people, if not all of them, before you met the narcissist, those people, I can assure you, they are stuck, or they're still blaming themselves, or they're not strong enough to go no contact, etc. And if they did not figure out what narcissism is, and that again is the majority or the vast majority of people, this is why you are different. And this is why you are the one who escaped. Now, as I shared earlier in the video, the escape of you getting away from the narcissist, maybe it was you being discarded. Did you look at that as an escape? Of course you didn't, because the discard probably came out of left field. You weren't prepared for it. You didn't know that another person could just crumble up somebody like a sheet of paper and throw them away in the freeway after 1, 2, 3, 50 years of marriage or being in a relationship with somebody. We now know that each and every one of these narcissistic relationships has an expiration date. It depends on when the narcissist pulls the trigger and discards somebody. That's number one. Or number two, if somebody's so beaten down and stuck in the narcissistic fog and the trauma bond, they don't think there's a way out and they just got accustomed to it. So they are called built-in supply, and there's a large number of people like that. Or number three, maybe you were one of the few who ended it yourself, and then you realized that it wasn't going to be as easy as you thought, and that you would have to heal from that relationship. But any way you cut it, it's one of those three things. That's how these relationships end. One of those three ways. Now, why I'm saying you are different, just like myself, I'm different because I've applied the tools. I've developed them. I've figured out paths on how to escape, on how to have a small footprint, on what to do with flying monkeys, on how to spend your energy, how to spend your time, what to share, what not to share, what not to overshare, who to talk with, who not to, how to feel vibrational energy, how to trust your instincts, your intuition, pay attention to red flags, and spot toxicity from 10,000 miles away. Yeah, that's what I've done. That's why I am 99.999% healed. Nobody, and I mean nobody, will ever be 100% healed. If they say they are, that's just not the truth, because there will always be something that potentially could trigger you or remind you about days gone by that you may or may not be prepared for in the future. It could be a perfume, it could be a dish of food, it could be a song, it could be an article of clothing, it could be so many different things. But having said all these things, why your escape haunts the narcissist, or it will haunt the narcissist forever? It's because you need to understand these people, i.e. the narcissist, they want to keep all these Barbie dolls and Ken dolls on shelves in a closet that only they have the key to. They want to open that closet with the padlock and the keys, and they want to take one of those Barbie or Ken dolls down whenever they want to. They want to play with it or manipulate it or abuse it or string it along or give it a little fake love bomb. And then once they have gotten jaded or bored with that supply source, i.e. that person, then they open the closet door again, they put them back on the shelf, they close the closet door, they turn the light off, and they lock the door. No one is ever supposed to know about these people, but that was me, and I can assure you that was you. But having said that, you were in that closet of abuse, meaning you were on the shelf, you were the Barbie doll or the Ken doll. You thought when you were in that relationship it was only you and the narcissist. Nothing, and I mean nothing, could have been further from the truth. Think of all the business trips the narcissist went on. Think of all the vacations they blew up. Think of all of the events or ceremonies or graduations that they did not attend. Think of all the intentional arguments you had to deal with. Think of all the late nights of you cooking and waiting for the narcissist to come home and they never got back to you. Think of all the guys, wink wink, trips to the cabin, kind of weird. Think of all the girls' weekends when they went up to the mountain. Again, strange. Why do you think all these things happen? Because everything isn't how it appears to be. Things are not always as they appear to be. And at the top of that list is the narcissist. Remember, they infiltrated your life. They didn't hand you that 2-page report and tell you, this is who I am, this is what I'm going to do to you, and I've done this to so many people before you, but I will ruin your life too. So do you want to enter the relationship or not? They didn't do that. If they did, you would have run for the hills, but that's not what happened. So why you are different than everybody the narcissist had encountered before is because, number one, you're the one that got away. Number two, you're the one that cracked the code. Number three, you're the one who is either healed or healing. And number four, this is a big one for most people, you are the person who either has gone no contact or are preparing to go no contact. And when I say no contact, I mean get off the radar of the narcissist. Stop allowing them to send you emails, block their email, block their phone number, get off social media apps, stop spying on their social media, stop asking people to check in on the narcissist to see where they are, who they're with, and what they're doing. Tell people who are giving you information that is unsolicited about the narcissist that you no longer want to hear about the narcissist. You see, any tether that you have to that toxic person, it will keep you stuck and it will keep you trapped, and you will be thinking about them. And you may think you're strong enough and you can handle it, and you can handle what the news is about the narcissist and how they've done A, B, and C since they discarded you or since you left them, whatever. Any bit of information you learn about these people, it doesn't help you out. It helps the narcissist out, because the narcissist doesn't have anything to heal from. You have a lifetime of abuse to heal from, or a relationship time of abuse to heal from. The narcissist simply slithers off onto new sources of supply. They can change relationships the way you change your sneakers. They can change their attitude or their emotional stability, lack of emotional stability any which way the wind blows, which is why sometimes when you would open the front door, it would be Dr. Jekyll. Other times it would be Mr. or Mrs. Hyde. You never could get your bearings. There was no stability in that relationship. You were always putting out the fires that the narcissist was starting intentionally and unintentionally. And you were making excuses for them. You were turning a blind eye. You were not trusting your instincts. You were not trusting your intuition, and you were ignoring red flags. Now, was this your fault? Absolutely not. As I shared, the narcissist didn't hand you that 2-page report and give you a heads up or give you a fair warning. At the very least, if they said, hey, I'm a narcissist, take a look at it, research it, and see if you want into the relationship. They didn't do it. They won't do it because they know who they are, but they hide in plain sight. And they took advantage of you because they didn't think you'd ever figure it out. But now, as the thumbnail mentions, why your escape will haunt the narcissist forever, because you are the one that got away. You are the one that is totally different than everybody else. You have healed or you are healing, and you're taking your time, and you have not lost your empathy. You have not lost your ability to love. You have not lost your belief in humanity. It's been rebuilt. You've patched up relationships that are fixable and that you wanted to patch up with people who are not communicating with the narcissist or anyone who knows them. You have had a small footprint. You've stayed in the cocoon of boundaries, and you took your time and you processed so much. Remember, a college level course on any subject in the world, any subject in the world, pales in comparison to your wisdom that you've acquired post-narcissistic relationship, because you had to dig within yourself. You had to do something against all odds that you weren't prepared for, which was heal and figure out who the narcissist was and what they did. You had to beat a behemoth, a juggernaut, a dark energy source who was trying to take you down for the count, and they were trying to extinguish you and your beautiful, bright, shining light. You weren't prepared for this. There was no book, there was no course, there was no hint of education about this. That's why this is a journey for one, by one, and to benefit one, and I'm referring to the healing path. You must remember the narcissist isolated you. They blew up your support system. They took your money, they took your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, goals, your future, anything they possibly could. And just when they thought they finished you off, that's usually when the discard took place. And the discard, I'm sure, came out of left field. But all these things I'm mentioning, they equal a very big and very important message for you. You're different. You're not stuck back in that narcissistic fog. You're not still pining for them. You're not still thinking that they can change. You're not still thinking that they do love you or they did love you. You're now putting 2 and 2 together and saying, wait a minute, that trip over on my birthday a couple years ago, they were late, they didn't get me a gift, they blew up the dinner, they had me pay for it, and then they left early and we were in a different country. Think about that. Who in their right mind does that? A narcissist does it because they want to destroy people's relationships, their hopes, their celebrations, their birthdays, and anything they can. Think about what I'm mentioning to you. Also, think of all the times you were triangulated, my least favorite thing these creatures implement. How many times did the narcissist tell you that somebody that you knew, didn't know, never heard of, and never heard of before or after was giving them compliments or fawning all over them, or they got a flat tire and they had to spend time in a hotel together, or they lost their money and this person bailed them out, or this person was... Think about what I'm sharing. These are all abusive techniques, and you weren't supposed to ever figure this out. You were never ever supposed to heal and put it all together. But you have, and this is what you're doing. So as I shared before I get ready to close the video, your escape will haunt the narcissist forever. It's because you are the one that got away. It's because you are the strong one. It's because you are the resilient one. It's because you're full of courage, determination, focus, commitment, diligence, and you had the yearning for the answers that you had to get the questions to those answers. The narcissist would never give you those because that would mean they would have to give you closure. It also would mean they'd have to be accountable and introspective and tell the truth. They're never going to tell the truth, be accountable, introspect, or give you closure. That's why you had to do this all by yourself. And the further you got away from the narcissist, the stronger you got. The stronger you got, the weaker they got. The weaker they got, the more clear your mind got. The clearer your mind got, the more light bulb moments you received. The more light bulb moments you got, the more you realized, oh my gosh, this relationship was a much worse relationship than I thought. I thought it was bad. It was 10,000 times worse than I ever thought. And why did you figure this out now? Well, because you're not in the proximity of the narcissist, number one. Two, because your energy level is ascending. You're not stuck in that trauma bond. You're not stuck in that low vibrational state or in the same house as the narcissist where they were sucking all the oxygen out of the room and where you could cut the tension with a butter knife. And now you've gotten wisdom. So having said all these things, number one, you're different than most everybody. Number two, you're an empath, whether you know it or not. You have a high level of empathy. Number three, you're extremely intelligent. Number four, you need to recognize the narcissist targeted you for what you had, and probably even for what you still have or have reacquired or rebuilt. But they can't get to you any longer because now you have gotten off the radar and you've gone no contact, etc. This is the path. It's what you must do. If you haven't, you will do it. This is what the narcissist's worst nightmare, worst fear was to lose not only a supply source, the supply source. That was you. And to clarify this, as I've shared in all the videos over the years, you are not a supply source. A supply source is like Clorox or Wipes or gas or electricity in your car. A beautiful, bright, shining light is what you are. You are pure energy. You are an empath. You're committed. You're devoted. You want the best for people. You want to build people up. You want to elevate people. You want togetherness and growth and abundance. The narcissist wants to destroy people, trap them, isolate them, and punish them. The narcissist is the polar opposite of you. So when you were in that relationship, you didn't realize what was happening. What you did know, it was getting worse and worse over time, and you couldn't figure out why. Well, now you know, because you were in an unfixable relationship from hell, and it would never be fixed. And they knew that because they weren't in a relationship committed with you. They were using you as a front or as a beard to put up a front to the rest of the world that they could be in a relationship with somebody. That's all it was. It was nothing more to them. You were a fuel source, you were an energy source, you were an opportunity, and you were loyal and committed, and probably to a fault, as was I. But again, you weren't supposed to figure it out like all the people that the narcissist had abused before they met you. But you did figure it out, and that's why you're different, and that's why you are stronger than you know, and that's why you continue to become stronger and stronger each and every day. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I love doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You're not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. It's getting kind of loud. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.